Good afternoon, everybody. It's Dr. Kemi. It's still my birthday, August 6, 2024. The time is approaching 5 p.m. in Nigeria now, and I want to talk to you about some things we discussed earlier. Although I'm a full-time woman of God now, I'm still going to have my say on things that will improve Nigeria, especially the quality of life of every Nigerian. Okay, please, can you stop saying the term ordinary Nigerians? There is no ordinary Nigerians. We're all the same. And the leaders need to listen to us. First thing I want to clarify is President Tinubu, the IGP, Chief of Defense Staff, and the rest of the security agencies should get it through their head that the sponsors of this protest are not in the diaspora. Many of the sponsors are right there with you inside Nigeria. Let's go to northern Nigeria. Let's talk about northern Nigeria. Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Sokoto, and everywhere in northern Nigeria. The northern Nigerians voted for Tinubu very much, and they were the ones that actually helped him win the election. But some people don't believe he even won. At the end of the day, he has let them down. Who are they going to vote for in 2027? We've never had a president in Nigeria who has been in office 1 year and demonstrations and looting and a lot of violence is going on. I actually watched a video this afternoon. I can't authenticate it because I don't practice journalism anymore, so it's a lot of work. But I saw a police officer shooting, I saw it on Instablog, by the way, shooting and executing an unarmed protester. The protester was on the ground, they'd already beaten him, and I saw somebody actually drawing a gun towards this guy and opening fire and going inside the haylux. Just like that, an execution. That must not go because that young man has a name, okay? It should not be tolerated. That could be you. That could be your brother. That could be your relative. So IGP Egbetokun, you need to look into that shooting that's going viral all over the internet. I'm not buying that stuff you're saying, IGP Egbetokun. That stuff you're saying, Dr. Egbetokun, about live bullets were never fired. People said live bullets were fired. If they were rubber bullets, okay, then explain to the public how rubber bullets work. But live ammunition was definitely fired. I've watched a lot of videos, though I can't authenticate many of them. But they were coming out of the internet as the protests were going on the weekend. You need to look into that young man that was allegedly executed in Bauchi. I want to make sure that's not a video from SARS because this is a SARS-like shooting from the past. We want to make sure everything is authenticated, and that's your job. Now, the second thing I want to say is President Obasanjo. In your life, have you ever seen a U.S. president go to the White House to even just go and say, oh, I'm here to pay a courtesy visit to President Trump? Obama, that is. Have you seen Obama go to Biden's White House to see him and say, oh, courtesy visit to Biden? No, they don't do it. President Bush never went to Trump's White House to say hi. We know they talk on the phone, behind the scenes. But this whole show of force that President Obasanjo, Jonathan, and every past president does by going to Aso Rock in closed-door meetings with the reigning president, and then the media is out there looking for something to report, is wrong. You are part of the problem. You are the ones that are destroying Nigeria. President Obasanjo, stop going to Aso Rock and let these presidents do what they have to do, okay? Because they're now puppets to you. And I'm not happy that President Obasanjo is the one announcing the subsidy thing back. Who should be announcing that the subsidy has been put back? They put back the subsidy and the petrol is still 860, 850 naira per liter. I left Nigeria in January of 2023 and it was 200. I was complaining. 860? That is hardship. The people that are supposed to be making this announcement, Ajuri, where are you? Bayo Nanuga, where are you? Dele Alake, all the people in the media team should be making this announcement. I have a PR degree. That's my second degree. And I've been involved in so many crisis intervention, stories and cases. Maple Leaf Foods in Canada, when 26 people died from listeria, I was in that team. Go ask Mac Barrett, the former PR person for McCormick Spices. He was one of my teachers in PR school. Kemi is an asset to any organization. No, I'm not giving you my resume. I don't want a job. I was there 11 years. Nigeria does not respect people who have the experience. What they do is they put people in office that are their friends, their paddies, and those that campaign for them. Look what I told Hajia Kem Kem. Many of you confused me with her because you thought I was the one blasting Peter Obi. I was the one that brought Tinubu to government. Why am I complaining? It wasn't me. You need to be focused obedience. Okay, Kem is an APC girl, Hajia Kemi. And I was telling her on a tweet that why isn't President Tinubu making me the U.S. ambassador? Excuse me, the Nigerian ambassador to the U.S. Why am I not the Nigerian ambassador to the U.S.? I can foster good relations with the U.S. in Nigeria. She said, oh, did you campaign for him? And I'm like, no. Do I have to? Well, did Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala campaign for Jonathan and Obasanjo? She was made finance minister. It doesn't have to be like we have to campaign for a president to know who's good. Didn't Tinubu say with his own mouth that people in the diaspora come home? We've heard that before. Obasanjo has said it. Everybody has said it. And nobody comes home. I came home 3 times. Look at me. Where am I? Any meaningful job you want to get in the Nigerian government or in the Nigerian parastatals is a joke. No one should go home. Stay where you are. At the end of the day, what I told Hajia Kem, I said, look, have you ever thought about the bigger picture? Some people are American citizens and Nigerian citizens. Some are British and Nigerian. A lot of people went to naturalize after they've lived in these foreign diaspora countries for years. I said, there's a $600 million embassy being built on Eco Atlantic, U.S. Embassy. Have you ever thought that I could be the ambassador over there, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria? You don't want to appoint me as Abi. You don't want to appoint me as Nigerian ambassador to U.S. What if I come back as a U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, a Nigerian American? She never really thought about that. Appointments should not be paddy. Our president needs to be unrecycled, totally unrecycled. Okay? Totally unrecycled, under 55. I don't want to hear anything about experience. If a president doesn't have experience, that's why special advisors are chosen. Tinubu's special advisors are the worst of the worst. They need to be fired. I've said that. What else did I say last week? People are flying the Russian flag in Kano and Katsina and Kaduna, and people said, oh no, this woman is she's passing fake news. It's just the armed forces flag. Really? Yeah, it's a similar flag, but what they're flagging is not the armed forces flag. They are flagging, flying the Russian flag with placards that say Putin's name on it. Because it looks like Putin has come in and saved some African countries. From what I hear, the ECOWAS countries, the left ECOWAS, okay? Focus on the bigger picture. Who's the leader of ECOWAS? Is it not the same Tinubu? Burkina Faso, Mali, and Chad, and whoever they are, all these countries, they're not happy with Tinubu. They left ECOWAS. It's never happened. I can tell you right now that in 5 to 10 years, there won't be an ECOWAS. Yeah, remember that. Save this video. In 5 to 10 years, there won't be an ECOWAS. I was the only one that tell you. Did the Nigerian media tell you anything? No, they didn't. Their job is to lie. They're owned by the same politicians and businessmen. Who owns the nation? Who owns TVC? Is it not Tinubu? Okay, John Mama owns Channel. AIT, Doc Messi, he's passed away, but it's still a PDP station. You need to wake up. That's why people like me, independent media, they prevented me from working there, and it's you, the people. Now it's like, oh, Dr. Kemi, come back home. For what? You own Nigeria, not them. Where's your money? You're going to carry rice. Government is giving you rice. You're running to go and carry the rice. Buy it even. You don't want rice. You want petrol. The same oil they're stealing. You want some of it. You own that petrol. You want school fees for your children. Petrol for your generator. Stop taking rice and oil and foodstuffs from politicians. Their own palliatives is in cash. President Tinubu, stop giving cash to traditional rulers and politicians as palliatives. Give the cash to the people. We see that you've released some money to the states, but how far are we sure the governors are going to give it to the people? There are people who are not poor people. They're middle class. They're lacking a lot of things. And we understand you're doing this for the poor. What about the middle class? It's only poor and rich now. There's no middle class in Nigeria to the government. President Obasanjo should not be announcing things. He's not in the government. Okay? President Trump had no experience, and no one could tell me that you need experience to be president. Trump didn't have an experience. He was a businessman and a reality show host for his business show, and he became president. Obama was never a governor. He was a senator that went straight to the White House. Learn from that. And stop fooling the Nigerian people. President Tinubu, stop telling people to be cracked up upon because they have a foreign flag. If I come and join the protest and I wave the American flag, are you going to crack down on me? Or I'll call the